Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nupehadda. Today we had the release of the new ban list for the TCG, which will take an effect on November 9th of 2015. As you can already tell, I've already set up the list here so y'all can look at it. I'm going to discuss each and every one of these. First, we're going to go with Quill 4 Towers. This was obvious because Tower Turbo is a thing. Most people don't really care for it, and people don't really see it as being a skillful deck and everything. However, it is a OTK deck, and it did need to be addressed. And I, for one, feel the tower should be banned. Elemental Hill Stratos, though he's not been off the ban list or anything like that, I feel like it should be mentioned. Yeah, well, brownie points for me on that. Sure, the Strategist and the Necros. This card has been causing a lot of trouble for opponents and everything like that because of the way how flexibility it is. So, yeah, it needed to be hit. There was no question about it. I wish Trishula was on this, but I'll deal with this for now. El Shaddai Construct. Biggest thing with El Shaddai Construct is the simple fact that it's too powerful as a card. It's 2800 attack. It ally a catastroph's effect, and if it's sent from the field to the grave by a card effect, if I recall, might actually just be sent to the field of grave. I haven't really looked at the card in a while. It gets a spell card back that's a Shaddai card, which is could be El Shaddai Fusion or Shaddai Fusion. And Evil Swarm Exciton Knight. This is one of those cards that people are, scratching their heads over. Why was this card banned? Um, I don't really have much of understanding as to why. I can see the aspects of it is a field wiper, but we have Black Rose Dragon for that. I run two Black Rose Dragons in certain builds right now. But as for why they did this, this could be a push to limit rank 4 spam plays, which would actually be ideal. But other than that, there is really no reason for Exciton not to be banned, and I actually question it. I don't have any beef with the card. I've never seen anyone use more than one of it. I never really had any problems with Exciton Knight. Most of the time, it's a 50-50 shot. For me, Exciton Knight is just there to field wipe and hopefully give me an advantage. Or it screws me over later on. But, pretty much, Exciton Knight is a good card. I just don't think it's good enough to warrant a ban. And now for the limited list. Quillfort Scout. We knew this was going to happen. Quillforts were never technically dead at the last ban list. They were just, recovering from their wounds and everything. Now the deck can finally die in peace. Or in pieces. They are machines. Yeah, I know I'm joking, but I'm being a little sarcastic right now. Griff. Malbranch of the Burning Abyss. I knew eventually Konami was going to do this. It was either a toss up between Sir or Griff, but I think they did the right choice in this. Does this kill the deck? No, it does not kill the deck. It makes it more harder to work with, but it does not kill the deck. Think of it as a. It doesn't kill the deck, but it gives you more room to put more stuff in. This could also be hinting at, and I'm just stretching out on this, but Fiendish Rhino Warrior, which is one of the best cards that BAs can have. But Griff going to 1, it's still manageable for BAs. They still have Sir, which is at 2, um, which they can easily get Griff from the graveyard and recycle as much as possible. Might actually get a Jar Ravik just so I can recycle him. But anyway, he's now an important card. Like he's not been he. It's not like he's not been important before. He's just now more important. Mathematician. This is like almost exactly like Exciton Knight in my view of why. But then I remember clowns are a thing. Before Mage Clown is a thing. So yeah. Tadio, mathematician. You're good in BAs, but against Clown Blade and stuff like that, I could see you on the ban list at that point. Necros of Boronic. He is the searcher for the deck. I just don't remember what his other effect because I don't think anyone ever runs his other effect. But yeah, you being limited to one is probably the mercy kill at this point. Necros of Unicorn. This card is a pain to deal with. Negates the effect of all monsters on the field that were summoned from the extra deck. Not a pleasant card to deal with. And with its stats and everything like that, it was easily could be killed off, but it was extremely hard when you have Valkyrie in your hand to stop the attacks and everything. Not only that, but he allowed you to go into Abyss Dweller, and Abyss Dweller will get the increase of 500 attack because you're using water as material. So, Ritual Beast Atomic Cannon Hawk. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but as you see, there is the list there. If you want to look it up, go ahead. Yeah, this card, limited to one, is probably not justifiable enough. I feel like it should be banned because it is not a once per turn effect, nor do you. It's a fusion monster, and he does those combinations where he can get you multiple cards from your deck with the ritual beast and spiritual beast. But because it's at 3, it becomes problematic to deal with as an opponent. So I'm glad that's gone. El Shaddai Fusion. Thank God Konami at least is smart about this one. They could have hit Shaddai Fusion, but they decided to play smart and go with El Shaddai Fusion because it is the quick play effect. Pretty much Shaddai Fusion, except you're fusioning from your hand or in field, and it's a quick play spell card. And they run it at 3, along with free Shaddai Fusion, which was bad. So limited to 1. Actually, well, I think in general with what's going on with Shaddais and everything, they are pretty much dead. If they're not dead, they are definitely licking their wounds here. Now we get to the more tragic of the losses in this meta. Reinforcement of the army. I am split on this. It's good that it's gone to 1, but it's also a bad thing because now a ton of warrior type decks are crippled. Not just Satel Knights and not just Necros, but the majority of casual player warrior toolbox builds and stuff like that demolished. They'll have to either rethink their strategy or give up on the decks because reinforcement of the army and the way it does. It's pretty much you search for a level 4 lower warrior type monster from your deck and add to your hand. This doesn't seem overpowered and when you first hear this, but considering what the game has developed into over the years and everything, its power has become more and more apparent. So I am with a saddened heart the reinforcement in the army has to go to 1. But it is an understandable loss. Sometimes we have to do what we don't want to do. Sir, Male Branch of the Burning Abyss. He is at 2 right now. Which really is probably the best thing they could have done. Because if this was in reverse and Griff was at 2 and Sir was at 1, the deck would probably be in a worse condition. And I think Konami saw that. Sir being at 2 still gives you liability in the graveyard, allow you to summon Griff and reuse him and all that, or Dante or whatever you need. And you can use Virgil to bring back Griff, or you can use Sir, send it to the graveyard, whatever, to get Virgil back, and possibly Griff, or whatever you want. I have no real complaints about it, but in terms of BAs, Burning Abyss, I should say, I don't think any of this was necessary. Someone's gonna argue with me. I know this, but we're getting to a time now where the top 5 decks were starting to level out. Some of them were, others were still kicking up. Necros including. So Necro's dead, fine. Shaddai's dead, fine. Satel Knight's hurt, fine. Quillfort's dead, thank God. Burning Abyss, unnecessary. At least in my view. Sure, other people argue, but that's just my view. You can take whatever you view and work with it. I take my view, work with it. No longer limited. Chaos Sorcerer. I'm wondering why they're doing that. There is no reason to unlimit it, but then again, there is no reason not to unlimit it. It might be at a particular point where we do not need Chaos Sorcerer to be semi-limited anymore. So unlimited, fine. Legendary Six Samurai Shien. As much as I enjoy Shien being unlimited, and justifiably so, Six Samurai still has a very big unjust that has been done to him, which Gateway is still banned. Until Gateway comes off that ban list and everything, justice is not truly served until we get that card back. And anyone who argues with me on this, I have one thing to say. Six Samurais do not have a recovery system. We do not have a reward system like the modern decks. What I mean is, they do not have any real strong ways of recovering. When Six Samurai decks are utilizing their resources and everything, they are pretty much handless at that point because we've already used everything we need. Or we have backfields and everything, but we pretty much have at least one or zero cards in hand by the time we get a good setup. The reward system is pretty much what modern decks use anymore. Burning Abyss has a reward system by activating the graveyard, so they have multiple uses. Necros have a reward system by being able to utilize practically everything: deck, hand, graveyard, banish pile. Um, Anything else I can think of at the moment. Quill Forts had a reward system as well. They used their monster secondary abilities and everything like that, and they would either get draws out, they would be able to blow up monsters and everything, lower attack power and defense power, and summon their um, killer, or towers as they call it in the TCG. So yeah, I mean, Six Samurai Shien coming to free is a plus, but with Reinforcement of the Army going to one, and Gateway still banned and everything like that, there's not much we can do with Six Samurais at the moment. Spellbook of Fate. This is the one thing I do not understand why it is at 3. Stay at 1 or get banned. And this one, I'm going to try to pronounce it, but no dice on that. So, Giga Gear, or something like that. It's pretty much their trap card to allow them to bring out two Gigaria monsters from their deck to the field and increase their level by 1, I believe. So you can bring out the level 3s to go into the level 4s and go into the rank into the Gigaria X monster or Exceed monster. So I have no issues with that because I don't see them being powerful comparing to what we're getting pretty soon with Cosmo is getting more support. Psych frames are coming, or pretty much becoming the anti-meta or a meta deck. Infernoids are going to be a pain now. And there's just a few other decks that might be in the surprise. We were also getting um, magic specters, or whatever they're called, and they're practically immune to your opponent's card effects or targeting. So yeah, Garrigos are not going to see much play. If they do, it'll be mostly at like a local or small regionals. But be perfectly frank, I just don't see them do much. I am glad that an archetype is getting back their support that they need. It just, I think it's a little late for them now. But on like the logistics of this and everything like that, towers, I don't care. Like, it needed banned, it's banned, so now I'm happy. Elemental Hero Stratos is still banned, so I'm happy about that. Shuriken, banned, good. El Shaddai Construct needed to be banned a long time ago, good. Exciton Knight, there's no real reason I can think of, but whatever, we'll work with it. Limited, of course, is Scout, good. Kills the deck. Griff going to 1 was probably the better choice out of what I was originally thinking that it was going to do. I had two fairies about that, but looks like my second fairy was correct on that. My petition was a wild one like Exxon Knight, but with clowns and stuff like that coming out with the next set and everything like that, probably for the best. He goes to 1. Veronic and Unicorn, 1. I still think Trishulia of Necros should be banned, but that's just me. Ritual Beasts, they're very too powerful of Hawk. So El Shaddai Fusion, good at one. It gets quick play spell, reinforcement army, the biggest hit in the majority of it. It's good at one, maybe two later in the future, but I doubt it. Sir going to the two, which is fine. Chaos Sorcerer, Six Samurai, Xian is good. Spellbook should be banned, in my opinion, but that's just another discussion. And the trap card for Gargias. So that's all I really have to say about it. Anyone have any questions, comments below, and everything, please subscribe or leave a message or anything. I'll try to do what I can. Peace.